Hi, it's Mary, and I am here today with a project share. I have completed a 7 Gypsies shadow box. Believe it or not, my shadow box was white. But you can still see a little bit of white. I did leave white on the inside. And I made this for my daughter-in-law, who went to fashion school and she's totally into sewing. She loves Paris. So let me go through it with you and share with you what I've done. The pair of scissors up here are actually a chipboard piece that I painted in silver, and then I took the enamel accents in black and did a really thick bead or layered over the handle parts, and it really looks cute. I don't know if the camera catches it or captures it as much, but it truly looks like they're dipped handles. And then I just put a tiny bit of glitter right there to represent what would be a screw. The paper is just paper from my stash. It's backed with a red and white paper, and then there is this, which is a light teal and an off-white layered on top. I did the edges with black soot, and that's also what I did on this little wooden spool. It started off like this, and I used the black soot to color it. On the very tip up here, let me turn it, see if you can see it, I used my circle punch and just punched out a piece of paper, and then used a Stampin' Up! Antique brad to top her off. I thought it was really pretty. The ribbon here that looks like a tape runner was just something from my stash. I don't know who manufactured it, but it fit perfectly on the spool, and I thought it was awesome, so I glued it on there, and then I wove it throughout the project, and love how that took the effect that it does, the waviness of it. And here is the Prima clock face, a chipboard button in the back. It's pretty much covered, but that black and white paper is covering the chipboard, and then I just tied some floss on it. The little wooden ruler I colored with my Copic markers, and this little wooden ruler is from Maya Road. In the bottom square, I actually have a thimble. In the thimble, I used Rub and Buff, and that's what I used to color the shadow box as well as the corners from Tim Holtz. All of those and this piece were covered with a little bit of Rub and Buff. This little safety pin is from Hobby Lobby, and it comes in a package like, let me put it in the light, in a package like this for $1.47 for the 2 pieces, and it's called a kilt pin. It's 2 1/4 inches long. This one came black, and of course I got a 50 off when I purchased them. And there's tiny charms hanging down. There's a pair of scissors, a ruler, and a key. Totally love these. These are just from my stash, and the ruler and the scissors are actually ones that I found on eBay. So if you're looking for some little charms and some tool charms, I bought them. They were a really good deal, and I think I got like 25 of them when I ordered them. I needed some tools for a project for my husband and loved them. So if you let me know if you would like that information, and I'll be glad to send that to you on the buyer for the tool charms. This back here is a stamp with the scissors. That's a scissor stamp, and then the threads, that's this stamp. It's from LeBlanc. These stamp so wonderful, easy, beautiful, cannot say enough. When I stamped the scissors on my background paper, I actually just took a Post-it note and masked off the thread, inked up my stamp, and of course ink got on the mask, so I just peeled that off, and then I was able to place the scissors exactly how I wanted it for the background paper and not get the spool stamped as well. And then I just stamped the spool by itself and colored it, and it's in the background there behind that pen with the Copic markers. Now the colors I chose to use in this project were actually chosen by my daughter-in-law. Her favorite colors are red, black, and teal. So that was the inspiration for the colors. I used my I Am Roses on this box as well. You have one of the daisies right here, and this is a D1607. And then I used two white carnations here and here, and those are a CA1151. I used some glitter glue from Studio G on those, and I just love the way on this blue teal one, it just really picks up the blue. But it's just the clear, and it's got a bit of an iridescent look to it. All of the red roses came from Michaels, this one too. And I used my Stampin' Up glitter glue on the tips of those just to add a little bling and shimmer. The Paris Eiffel Tower is from a wafer thin die. If you want to know the manufacturer of this die, just let me know. I do not have it written on the back of my dies, but I'm going to do that. I do have all my packaging though, so I'll be happy to look through that if you want to know who made this die and let you know. But this die I actually cut out 3 times. The top layer is a silver metallic paper. Then I cut it out again with white, and then I cut it out again in black. I layered the white and silver together and put the black behind that and offset the black so it created a bit of a shadow. Now for the dress form, it's actually a Color Me Crazy by Petaloo, and this is the one that came with the package as well as this big one. And I practiced on the small one to see if I could do what I wanted to do as far as coloring it. And when that was successful, then I started on that one because I didn't want to mess this up if what I had in my head wasn't working. But I did multiple layers on the dress form with Versamark and red embossing powder and just laid it on repeatedly till I got it how I wanted it, a nice thick layer. On the bottom, I actually just covered that again with the enamel accents, and that has a nice shiny finish to it. Now this die, I will say, or I should say this chipboard, is very elegantly cut. It's fragile right here where this pole meets the bottom of the dress form. This was really flimsy, and I was really afraid it was going to break off. Or when I shipped it, you know, it wouldn't take much to pop that piece off in. So what I did to help sturdy that up is I actually took one of the corsage pins, and this is, this is actually one of the stick pins I made for my daughter-in-law, and I used glossy accents on the bottom. These are all just from my stash. These are free flowing, and then the glue is here. But I took a corsage pin. This I colored with a Copic marker, but I just clipped it off so I had just the bare metal. And I used regular glossy accents and glued it from here down. And that did the trick. After I let that sit, it's now not going to get broken at all. This is another stick pin I made for her, and this one actually uses the butterfly stick pin from Maya Road, and then once again just some bling from my stash, some little beads. Oops, let me get these back in here. I'm not going to worry about how precise they are. This ribbon is just a really pretty sheer ribbon from Celebrate It that you get at Michael's, and of course if it comes from Michael's, you wait like Hobby Lobby and you get it on sale. And let's see, what else? Oh, the little buttons for the spools. Those are really cute. These are vintage Vogue, how about vintage Vogue spool buttons, and there's 12 of them in here, and these were from Pink Paisley. So I used those. to lift the dress form away from the back of the box. I wanted to add some dimension. And so I could glue those on, and then I glued the dress form on top so I could slide this ribbon underneath it, get it away from the back because the Eiffel Tower is adhered to the back, and I wanted a little bit of dimension in the box. Let's see. Down here is poking out is a little bit of ribbon from my stash. The white one has little hearts, and then this is just a red ribbon that I also had in my stash. And let me show you the sides where I attached these little eye screws. There's one on each side. My husband actually got these for me. I had some from Tim Holtz, but I knew they were way too small and they're just not gonna hold the weight of the box. And then I attached it with this fastener here. Got this in the jewelry department, and the metals don't match, and I actually like the fact that the metals don't match. And this is what the fastener looks like from Hobby Lobby, and it's called a small hook clasp with chain. And there's 2 in a package, and it was $1.99 retail, so you know you pay half. And I took the chain off, so I still have the chain part left that I can use on a different project. So I took the chain off and just left the one ring on there and attached it to a chain that I got in the jewelry section. And I don't remember which store I bought it at because it's been in my stash, but it's just go to the jewelry department in Michael's or Hobby Lobby or wherever, and you'll find chains. And that's the exact length that it was. And there's 2 separate chains, and I just took them to the circle on the top here and closed that off. So that's how it will suspend. She'll use the chains, which I thought was a really neat effect. So I think I've covered it all. I hope you like my box. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and I hope you make something today. Bye.